Hey Tom, welcome to the Community Living Golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play through a few times, and then we'll go ahead and put you back in your dress position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's first of all take a look at your posture. Your spine's straight and on a tilt, looks great. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. And then your arms hang down in towards you a little bit with your biceps, then your forearms work away, and then the club works out to the ball. So you're a little bit congested to the golf shot. I'd like you to stand a little bit further away. Just keep your spine exactly in the position it is, as well as your legs. Looks great. Then from there, let your arms hang down a little bit out in front of you, and then let the golf club sort of work out to the ball. So taking from this red position where your arms are a little jammed, and back you away from the ball and get your arms just a little further away from your thighs. Also appears you're a pretty tall guy. You may want to look at some point in time maybe getting fitted for clubs if you haven't already, but for some reason this I think you got a fairway wood in your hand there. It looks a little short for you, so you might want to look into that. Anyways, taking a look now from this vantage point also at your alignment. See your feet going in this direction. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. So we're sort of set up down the right side of the fairway when the center of the fairway is sort of back in here behind your arms. So maybe a little bit of a compensation where we're trying to get that ball a little bit further left. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Brandt Snedeker. Now we got some color-coded lines on the screen. First thing I just want to point out before we take a look at the dynamic motion, just notice how he's already a little further away from you, and he's not even as tall as you are. So you can see his hands are a little bit further away from his thighs, and he's just got a little bit more freedom to swing the club. But more importantly, he's going to have freedom to pass through impact. I'm sure at impact you're going to look a little bit jammed. Anyways, taking a look at the left side of the screen, we initiate the takeaway by creating good shoulder rotation, bringing the arms and hands back as well as the club, referred to as a one-piece type of takeaway. We see here the club is coming back directly along the red line, so on plane. From here he creates some wrist hinge into play, which is going to transition the club head from being below his hands to now being above, and now working the club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, left arm and club are on the yellow line. We've created full shoulder rotation. We do this about a very stable right leg, keeping the weight on the inside part of our right foot. With you, we watch you initiate your takeaway here. Good shoulder rotation, drawing your hands and arms back. Club's coming back on a good plane. Everything's looking really good at this point in time. Hopefully we start to see some wrist hinge here shortly. Get a little bit in there, so that's great. And continued rotation. And when we finally get to the top of the backswing here, you're in a pretty decent position. You've turned your shoulders well. Your arm units is in good position relative to your core. Your club stays in good position relative to your arms, and you create this rotation on a pretty stable right side as well. Everything looks pretty solid to this point. As we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind our core and fire our hands, and in doing so we want to make sure we're bringing the club from yellow back down on top of red, and that's exactly what we see here. We see the club returning back to being on plane. And the next thing we want to take a look at is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means that we're retaining angle coming into the hitting zone with the club head above and behind our hands, let alone getting the club to return to plane, as we already pointed out, which is going to allow us to ultimately hit a straight shot in accordance to where we're aimed. Go ahead and watch your transition back in the ball. You got an over-the-top move right there. Your hands move out away from yellow towards blue. That over-the-top move is going to have a major influence on the golf club. Club's going to come too steep into the ball, and therefore from outside to inside. So if we track the club coming into the golf shot, we just see that club moving further and further away from the red line. If we connect the dots, if we had a little higher speed camera like they do on TV, we would have had all these frames in between, but pretty easy. We can just connect the dots and see how over the top that is and how steep it is and how the club does not return back to plane and does not approach the golf ball from this red line, and again the red line being on plane. When we attack a ball from an on-plane position, we will hit a straight shot relative to our alignment. At this point in time, we can see how the descending plane influences the path. We can see with Snedeker's clubs inside the ball, it expands out to make contact, and then the club moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. So he's going to hit the ball straight in accordance to where he's aimed. With you, your club's stuck outside the ball, drops down and across, moving in that formation, and basically if we were to square the club face up to that swing path, very clearly put, we're going to pull the golf shot somewhere over to the left. If we happen to over-release the club with that path, not only would we pull it, but we would pull draw it or pull hook it. If we leave the club face open to that path, the ball will start maybe just a little further right, but then we have left to right spin, and we'll hit a pull slice. If we time it properly, then we'll have an ability to sort of pull the golf shot left, and then hopefully the ball will just have a little butter cut on it, and we'll still find our intended target. So the end result of your golf shot is solely dictated based on the timing of the club face. When we're attacking a ball from outside of the ball and then across into the inside, if we over-release the club, it follows blue. Under-release it, it follows yellow. And if we time it perfectly, it'll follow red and stay there, or just create a little bit of a fading action. As we carry through, we can see with Snedeker, his right heel's off the ground. We just want to see some continued activity through to the finish, where we will get fully up off that heel onto the toe of the right foot. That allows the weight to get to the left side, hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate, and hands to get high with the golf club. With you, we come through that golf shot. Sorry, I should have done a slow motion. I hit the wrong button. We can see here coming from the out to in again, and then coming through. And we see some pretty decent footwork allowing you to get to the finish. You can create a little bit more footwork where you get fully up on that toe and show us the spikes of your shoe, and that would be ideal. Now overall, you've got some excellent athleticism. Your hands work really well. They come back and they fire through. Your core works well. You coil back, you uncoil through. You get yourself to a good finish because you got some pretty decent footwork coming through. You can sort of refine that and create just a little bit more like we just discussed. But the motion's good. Again, your setup's good, your posture's good. You just need to be a little bit further away. That's number one. And then number two, you know, the backswing's looking good. It really comes down to learning how to bring the golf club down in the ball from an on-plane position. And the reality is that the downswing plane is really the number one most important aspect of the dynamic motion in order to create power and also to hit straight and consistent golf shots. So that's really the key for you. And if at any point in time you'd like to work on your golf game, certainly feel free to contact me. All my contact information is at the end of this video. I'm out at Glen Abbey over in Oakville, and be happy to help you out with some lesson programs. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. And if at any point you're also involved with any golf tournaments, or you sit on the committee for any tournaments, and you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, certainly feel free to reach out, and I can discuss those services with you. Okay? Anyways, take care, and have a great summer.